1. Hook. Building your first AWS architecture can feel like a maze. One wrong turn and you might end up spending way too much money or facing downtime. What should you avoid to keep your project on track? 3. The simple explanation to build an effective AWS architecture: focus on simplicity. Use only what you need. Each service should have a clear purpose. This not only saves money but also enhances maintainability. Avoiding common pitfalls can streamline your process. 4. Real-world example. Let's take a look at a real-world incident. A startup, eager to launch their app, decided to integrate AWS Lambda, API Gateway, DynamoDB, and S3, all at once. They thought, why not use everything? Within a month, they faced a crisis. Their API Gateway received 10,000 requests per hour. The Lambda functions were timing out, leading to a poor user experience. Additionally, they were spending around $2,000 monthly on services they didn't fully understand. The result? User retention dropped by 30%. They quickly learned that their architecture was too complex, and they didn't need all those services right away. 5. What to do instead. Let's simplify your approach. Here's a straightforward framework. Define your core requirements. What does your application need to do? Write down the essential functionalities. For example, if you're building a simple blog, you might need a database, a web server, and storage for images. Choose the right services. Compute, use EC2 or Elastic Beanstalk for web servers. Database, select RDS or DynamoDB based on your data needs. Storage, use S3 for file storage. Plan for scalability, consider how your app will grow. Start with a single instance but implement auto-scaling groups to handle increased traffic. Set thresholds, like scaling out when CPU usage exceeds 70%. Monitor costs, use the AWS pricing calculator to estimate costs. Set a budget, keep it below $500 for initial development. Regularly check the AWS billing dashboard to track spending. Implement security best practices, always use IAM roles. Avoid embedding access keys in your code. Set permissions based on the principle of least privilege. For example, if a Lambda function only needs read access to S3, don't grant write permissions. 6. Common mistakes: over-engineering. Many beginners try to use multiple services for small projects. Fix: start with a minimal viable product and add services only as needed. Ignoring monitoring: not setting up monitoring can lead to unexpected downtimes. Fix: use AWS CloudWatch to set alarms for CPU and memory usage. Set thresholds at 70% to receive alerts early. Neglecting costs: forgetting to monitor expenses can lead to surprises. Fix: set up AWS budgets to alert you when costs approach your set limit. Using default settings: default configurations often don't fit your specific use case. Fix: customize your instance types and adjust settings based on your application needs. For example, if you know your application requires more memory, choose a memory-optimized instance. Inadequate security configurations: overlooking security can expose your architecture to risks. Fix: regularly audit IAM roles and permissions. Make it a habit to review permissions every quarter. 7. Quick checklist before you finalize your architecture. Run through this checklist. Clearly define core requirements. Choose only essential services. Plan for scalability with auto-scaling. Set a budget and monitor costs. Implement IAM best practices for security. 8. Summary plus CTA and summary: keep it simple. Avoid the temptation to add too many services in your first AWS architecture. Define your needs, choose wisely, and monitor your resources and costs. Remember, less is often more when starting out. If you found this video helpful, drop a comment below sharing your thoughts or questions. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical tips on navigating the cloud. Bonus practical tip: if you're unsure what to pick, start with the simplest option that ships today. Then measure for 7 days, latency, errors, deploy time, and cost. Only upgrade when metrics force the decision, not fear.